In field service, success often boils down to one simple, yet incredibly tricky challenge: getting the right part to the right technician at exactly the right time. When it works, it's like magic. It's totally invisible. But when it fails, the entire operation just grinds to a halt. Okay, let's dive into how you can move from that kind of operational chaos to having total control.
Really think about it for a second. Your technician is on site, the customer's watching, the clock is ticking, and that one single component they need is sitting back at the warehouse. Or even worse, it's completely out of stock. That single point of failure can unravel the entire customer experience in an instant.
And look, this isn't just some hypothetical situation. These are the daily frustrations that plague so many service teams. You've got disconnected systems, which means someone in sales types in an order, and then someone in finance has to type the exact same information into another system. Technicians are basically just guessing at stock levels, and that leads to those crazy expensive overnight shipping fees. All of this chaos, it just trickles down, creating delays for the customer and massive headaches for the finance team who are stuck trying to reconcile everything.
So how do we fix this mess? Well, the answer starts with building a really solid foundation. We've got to move away from all those scattered spreadsheets and siloed apps and instead move toward a single, unified platform. A place where everyone, from the technician in the field to the CFO in the corner office, is looking at the exact same real-time information.
This foundation is what makes something called inventory optimization possible. And this is way more than just counting parts. It's a proactive strategy. It's all about using data to find that perfect balance, having just enough stock to keep your customers happy without tying up a ton of cash in parts that are just going to sit on a shelf collecting dust.
Now, to make this work, the system has to mirror the real world. A modern platform does this by setting up a hierarchy of locations. So you've got your main hub, the central warehouse. Then you might have a local site, which acts as a kind of buffer for critical parts nearby. And finally, you have the technician's van, a mobile, moving inventory location that handles that all-important last-mile delivery. Each one has a very specific and strategic role in the supply chain. And that brings us to a really key strategic choice. How do you actually track your parts? For low-cost, high-volume stuff like bolts or fuses, you just track them by quantity. Simple. You have 500 in the van. But for a high-value, maybe regulated component like a medical device, you absolutely need to track each individual unit by its unique serial number. This gives you a complete lifecycle history, which is totally essential for compliance and for managing those expensive assets.
Okay, so we've got the foundation. Now let's see how this all really comes together. We're going to follow the journey of a single part, from start to finish, to make this whole abstract process feel a lot more tangible and clear. It's really this beautifully simple four-step dance. First, the technician's out in the field realizes they need a part and puts in a request right from their phone. Easy. Second, a warehouse manager sees that request and creates a transfer, officially moving the part. Third, the tech gets the part, confirms it, and poof, their van's inventory is updated in real time. Finally, they use the part on the job, it's marked as consumed, and the system logs it. The loop is closed and everything is perfectly tracked.
And this isn't just theory. As one expert who helped build this put it, the logic is just so straightforward. The request from the field is what directly drives the action in the warehouse. By linking that transfer directly to the request, you create a clear, perfect audit trail. It just goes to show you, having the full context for every single action is, well, it's everything.
Now, an optimized inventory system is powerful all on its own, but its true potential, its superpower, is unlocked when it stops being an island and starts talking to the rest of your business. Let's talk about how integration can supercharge the whole system.
We're talking about two absolute game-changing connections here. These are the ones that break down the biggest data silos in any organization, connecting to your core financial system, your ERP, and connecting directly to your shipping partners.
Okay, integrating with your ERP is nothing short of transformational. It's how you finally break down that huge wall that always seems to exist between the people selling things and the people counting the money. An order placed in your CRM automatically flows right into your financial and production systems. No more double entry. Sales reps can give quotes based on what's actually in stock right now, preventing oversells. It really does create that single source of truth, from the second a customer says, "I'm interested," all the way until the cash is in the bank.
And what about actually getting parts from point A to B? Well, integrating with shipping carriers closes the loop completely. Imagine booking shipments, tracking packages in real time, and even automating the entire returns process, like generating a label and emailing it to the customer without anyone lifting a finger. You can even set it up to trigger a task for a sales rep the exact moment a delivery is confirmed. It's not just logistics, it's logistics on autopilot. So that's the how. But what about the so what? What does all this actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about the payoff, where we can quantify the incredible impact of making this shift from total chaos to total control.
This quote from Tamra, a company that runs those reverse vending machines for recycling, it just says it all. They went from juggling 25 different systems to a single, unified platform. And they describe it as a transformation that empowered their team and set them up for the future. But what does that transformation actually look like in numbers? 99%. Let that sink in. That's Tamra's first-time fix rate. It means that when a technician shows up to repair a machine, they have the right part to get the job done on the very first visit, nearly every single time. That is the direct result of a system that just works.
67%. That's the increase in the number of work orders their team could suddenly process. That is a massive leap in productivity. It allowed them to service 25% more machines without even expanding their team. We're talking about doing so much more with less, purely through efficiency gains.
And finally, 10. That's the number of separate, clunky systems they replaced with one single solution for their CRM, their work management, and their call center. Just think of the cost savings, the reduced complexity, and honestly, the sheer relief of having one source of truth.
So this leaves us with one final, and I think pretty important question to consider. When you really look at your own operations, is your inventory a true asset that drives your business forward, or is it an anchor of chaos, weighing you down with inefficiency, frustration, and cost? The choice and the tools to fix it are clearer than ever.